In the event of a financial catastrophe such as a job loss, would you be able to cover your bills and expenses for 3 months? What about 6 months? If you answered no to either of these questions, you fall into the same category as around half of Americans. According to a Bankrate survey, 55% of women and 45% of men do not have at least 3 months' worth of emergency savings. Why is this? Why is the average consumer who is earning a middle-class income broke? Welcome to Financial Connoisseur, and here are 5 reasons why you're broke. Number 1, you haven't set goals the right way. Ever want something so badly and you were so adamant about it that no matter what anyone else said, it didn't get in your way? It's pretty powerful, isn't it? We've all experienced this in one form or another. The trick is to use this reasoning to go deep into your mind. Remember, most of what happens to you is the result of the non-conscious mind, which is incredibly powerful. So you have to use your self-awareness and creativity to carve a path that your non-conscious mind will follow. Finding your why? Flimsy reasons will not get you far. These are just superficial or surface level. If you want to make money because you want to buy a flashy car or a bigger house, it won't give you the drive to keep going. You have to go deeper than that. Keep asking yourself why you want something until the question equals the answer. For example, if you say you want to have a $1 million net worth because you want to have a big house to live in, why do you want that? Maybe it's because you want your kids to grow up in a nice home. Go deeper. Well, why do you want your kids to grow up in a nice home? Maybe that's because you grew up in a small home and your whole family was crammed into 1 or 2 rooms. And you want your kids to have more space. Okay, why though? Maybe because in a larger home they'll have more things to do, to be more creative or run around, maybe have a nice backyard. Okay, so why does that matter? Maybe because if your kids have a bigger home, you can do more things together and you can spend more time with them. Okay, why do you want to spend more time with them? Maybe because your parents never spent much time with you because they were always working. So, why is that important? Because you want your kids to feel loved. Ding ding ding. There it is. Love. Usually, your deep-rooted reason will invoke love. It's at the core of who you are. Sometimes it might be freedom or security, but if you keep drilling down, it usually equates to love. Find that reason and focus deeply on it if you want to keep going. Number 2, you lack self-discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and accomplishments, and if you're lacking it, you'll have a hard time accomplishing much. That's the truth, right? But that doesn't mean you should feel bad about it. What you should do is work tirelessly to create more self-discipline. Use your self-awareness to drag you out of the negative loops. If you're overspending, find ways to become aware and stop it. If you're simply living above your means, find a way to either make more money or spend less. It's straightforward. Each time the newest piece of technology hits the market, consumers rush out to purchase it. Wants have turned into perceived necessities, resulting in more spending and less savings. That's usually why we don't adjust our behavior. You can thank your trusty ego for that. Wrangle in your self-discipline by focusing on the small daily actions you can take to change your life. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen over time as long as you're committed enough to it. Remember, being broke is just a mindset and you have the power to change that. The question is, will you? Number 3, your bad habits are holding you back. Look, if you have bad habits that are holding you back, it will be hard to emerge from the sea of an abyss. You'll continue to drown because bad habits are so powerful. Use the micro-changes technique to stop your bad habits. Micro-changes are small, incremental things that you do to alter your behavior. Think about it like a rubber band. What happens when you pull a rubber band back hard enough? It either snaps back or breaks, right? Well, your habits are very similar to that. When you try to go cold turkey, you usually fail and end up right back where you started. Sometimes it's even worse than when you started. That's the rubber band effect taking place. And it's incredibly powerful. With micro changes, you're incrementing and notching up. Here's how this works. Take the one thing that you want to change about your life. Whatever it is, big or small. If you're broke and you know it's because you overspend or you drink with your buddies every weekend, you have to change it slowly. First, make sure you set those empowering goals. Next, you have to alter your behavior slowly. Pull the rubber band back gently. If you were to hold a rubber band in place between two objects, stretched out for a long period, like days or weeks, what happens over time? When you come back, the rubber band is now larger. It was slowly stretched and not snapped back violently. Habits are the same way. You have to change them slowly if you really want to make lifelong lasting changes. Number 4. You take on too much debt. Keeping up with the so-called Joneses is a very real thing around much of the world. You want what others want. Plain and simple, right? But the problem is that when you do this, you end up taking on too much debt to pay for things you can't really afford. Too many people are buying things they can't afford, with money that they don't have, to impress people that they don't like. Isn't that a truth bomb dished out by the famed Will Smith? Certainly, it should ring true to you if you're broke right now. Stop caring about what others think because it's forcing you to take on too much debt. Instead of buying things, focus on experiences. They last longer. And if you do want to buy more things and experiences, then start earning more money. You cannot borrow your way out of the poorhouse. Trust me, it's not possible. You have to earn enough to not only keep from going totally broke, but also to ensure that you have enough to thrive. Because, after all, human beings weren't just made to survive. We were made to thrive. Number 5. You're exchanging your time for money. Okay, here's the thing. Time is your biggest enemy. Why? Because they are not making more of it. And when you directly exchange your time for money, you have little time to focus on the things that count. You only have 24 hours in a given day. That's it. No matter how rich or broke you are, whether you're a man or a woman, live on a farm or in a big city or whatever else, you have no more time than the next person. The billionaire and the pauper each have the same amount of time. The difference is that they use their time in starkly varying ways. When you work for someone else, you're exchanging your time for money. They are guaranteeing you an income in exchange for your time. The trouble is that most of the time it's never enough money, right? You usually only have enough for the essentials, and that's it, right? What you have to do is find a way you can earn money without exchanging your time for it in direct proportion. This is not easy, but it is very possible for just about anyone from all walks of life thanks to this lovely thing called the internet. When you're dealing with passive income, it usually means you're doing a bunch of work on the front end before you ever make any money. I know it's hard sometimes to push through. But if your reasons are strong enough, you'll find a way to do it.